Yes, yes. It's your boy DJ Cliff back at it again. This is DJ Cliff Presents. Bring you interviews with artists and people making a difference. And it's an honor and a pleasure. It's like truly an honor and a pleasure to have an opportunity to chop it up with a cat who has been doing it really real for a minute. My man, HaniF.
HaniF, the artist formerly known as.
What's up, bro?
Nothing to it, man. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Bro, let's just look. Let's just start like right there.
Word.
HaniF.
HaniF,
When did that happen?
about 29 years ago.
Wait a
December
minute, I'm
19th.
confused. Hold up.
December 19th, 1984. That's when that happened. Um, but HaniF is my government name,
Okay.
and Luck One was kind of some street stuff that morphed into a rap name, and you know, I wrote a little blog post about it.
Yeah.
I wrote a little piece, as I like to do, sum it all up, thesis, body, and conclusion.
Okay.
And it just talks about the origins of my name.
Yeah.
And if you look at the real HaniF on Tumblr, and yeah, man. So it's just a matter of me trying to kind of just drop those shields and let people into my world more. As of late, particularly with like Weekly Wonders, I was doing a bunch of singing hooks and just all kinds of stuff. So I'm starting to feel more comfortable just making whatever type of music I'm really inspired to make. And less interested in like trying to fit a mold or give people something or for the true heads. Just I mean, hey, I think that my man Moonrock said it best, and I always quote this, but he said, so much of what's beautiful about the human experience is the possibility to do something unique.
That's what's up, man. Y'all here talking to HaniF. So I just kind of jumped right into it, but there's so much to sort of get caught up on. So the last time that we connected, I think, was before you made the move to New York.
Truly,
So you've been out there for a minute
about 10 months.
and have been like doing things like you touched on it a little bit. But
Yeah.
before we get to that, just let folk know like what prompted you to make that move from Portland, Oregon to New York City.
And it's one of those things, man, you just feel like you have to look at what's going on where you're at and then try to figure out if anybody else is doing what you see yourself doing, what you were put here to do.
Yeah.
If this dude that's been in Portland for years before me, grinding, working, making great music, that haven't made that break into the mainstream or the grander consciousness of music listeners around the country or around the world or even around the country, then maybe it's time. And then myself working for years to very little effect ultimately, to the point where people might notice me here and there or buy a little record if I drop it, but it's not where I want it to be.
Okay.
So I told myself when 2014 came in, before I turned, my birthday came in 2013. I said, the definition of crazy is to keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. So
Preach, preach.
I'm just gonna try all new everything because everybody's like, oh, why you changing your name? People know you as Luck. You're gonna lose fans. Man, I'm gonna make more fans. God willing, I got more fans to make, a whole bunch more fans to make than what I got now. Which is good, and I love the fans that I have now. But I got, it's gonna look crazy even considering.
Yeah.
Man, what is he? Man, of course he, man.
Yeah. No doubt. No
So,
doubt.
so I mean, it just shows me, that a lot of times the way that you see it, man, you gotta be. There's a quote that says, and I think talent is hitting a mark no one else can hit, and genius is hitting a mark no one else can see. And I don't ever think like consider myself to be a genius, but I think that sometimes even a common person can hit a mark nobody else can see. Depending on just the perspective. And I think that with like a lot of stuff that I'm doing now, I feel like a lot of people that I know and that I might consult for opinions don't get it, and that's kind of giving me a push. People are kind of like, what? Like they're like maybe they think you're dreaming too big. Then you're onto something.
That's what's up, man. Here talking to HaniF. So you went to New York, and it was interesting, sort of watching from afar the things that you did. Like, you didn't go to New York and just be in New York. Like, you went to New York and you started doing things from jump. I mean, we had an opportunity to see posts about performances that you were doing.
Yeah.
We had an opportunity to see interviews
Right.
that you were doing in New York. You know what I mean? And then, like you mentioned, then you did the Weekly Wonders series, where you were like releasing like music that to me didn't seem like just throwaway stuff. Like
Word.
like you was putting out joints.
Thank you, fam.
You know what I mean?
Thank you, fam.
So you've been out there, you've been working, and as a result of that, and I guess just like to ask the pointed question, you went out there with a vision, with a plan. 10 months in, is it what you expected? Or
No.
is just being in New York, is that what you expected?
No. No. New York is much different than I had anticipated it being.
Okay.
Much different than I anticipated it being in a lot of ways, good ways and bad ways. But ultimately, it's good because it reminds you how much you have yet to learn. You know, I was born in New York City, and I've been there before many times, but I had all these ideas about it that once you live there, you start to understand it in a different way, and it teaches you the value of experience. You know, I say the true education is the continuing discovery of your own ignorance.
Okay.
You know, the more you learn, the more you realize how much there is left to really learn. So I think that living in New York hasn't been what I thought at all. I thought it was going to be just completely different from what it is. What it is just a really big city. It's just a really big city. It's a city that's really big. You've been to the city before?
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's just like a city, but it's bigger. That's it.
Wow. Okay.
But it also has a lot of people there that do very specific things.
Okay.
You know? And so one of those things is music. Right. So, you know, I'm walking by the juice bar the other day and I see M1 from Dead Prez, you know? Or I'm coming out of my job and, you know, A$AP Rocky's crossing the street. So even if I'm not going to be the guy to run up on you and kick a bunch of bars because I'm just not that guy,
Right.
that does tell me that, you know, maybe when I go out to a party, you might be at the party. Right. If you're Lear Cohen or, I don't know, Bobby Brown or I don't know.
Right.
Who knows who you might
Yeah.
see in New York City because everybody goes there. Everybody doesn't come to Portland. People do come here. Yeah. And it feels like a lot of people come here. Yeah. But then when you realize where people live and how you can interact with people in a different way, you know, that's more meaningful when you're, you know, maybe at the grocery store or even at, you know, at a in-session studio listening thing than backstage at a concert, which is the only time you get to interact with the industry in Portland. So when you're backstage opening up for industry artists or you're just hanging out with somebody who is, so you know the guy at the door or whatever, but there is no mixer, there is no function, there is no party, there is no, you know, Questlove does a weekly DJ set in Brooklyn. Yeah. You can go every week and see Questlove. Yeah. It's crazy.
So has that changed your perspective on you know, your plan for your career by seeing that?
Of course. I mean, if it didn't, then it would have been a waste of time and experience and energy. Okay. I think that the whole idea was to get a different perspective because the perspective I had wasn't working for me. It was working. I was getting things done. I don't want to make it seem like I'm ungrateful for the love people have given me. People give me a lot of love. But it's not. People are always like, why haven't you blown up? Right. See what I'm saying? And that's what I'm trying to do now is blow up. Right. Right? So it's like, you know, I have to do something else. You know, if I go about trying to build a house, frame a house 6 different ways and to keep falling down, I got to find 6 more different ways to try it. I can't just keep doing the same ways. Man, something's not right. Well, maybe I should try something else. Right. No, I feel you. So, you know, I put out 7 projects now.
Which is ridiculous to me.
It's ridiculous. But, you know, French Montana got 19 mixtapes.
Okay. But...
I was listening to this Brother Ali tape the other day, and he said something that will have impacted me more than probably any rap lyric I've heard in a long time. He said, something like, I hope you don't expect it overnight. It took me 15 years. And I said, well, yeah, okay. Yeah. I guess I'm not doing bad then. Yeah. I'm on year 6 now, year 7 maybe. Okay. My 7th year, I guess. That's good, though. You know, I'm doing good for year 7. I'm only halfway there. Okay, take this ×2 and run to the moon with it. I can do it. Yeah, I think I'll be on it.
And you're chopping it up with HaniF. So just in case folks don't know who you are, man, your presence is available worldwide. Let everybody know where to go.
You can go to twitter.com/therealHaniF.
Okay.
People tweet on the West Coast. On the East Coast, it's Instagram strictly. So it's Instagram.com/TheRealHanif.
Okay.
If you go to Facebook.com/TheRealHanif.
Okay.
Um, you know, I'm out here. I used to go by a real fancy rap name, Luck One.
Yeah.
You know, that's Luckone. So you can look that up if you want to see all my amazing rap exploits from the last 6 years. But as of now, I'm just HaniF. So, you can find me online under my government name, HaniF, which is HANIF, spelled with a period and a trademark sign.
That's what's up, man.
That's me.
So.
Oh, SoundCloud, The Real HaniF. That's another East Coast one.
Yeah, you definitely need to go check them out on SoundCloud. But I thought it was interesting when I saw the way that the name is spelled.
Yeah. It's all caps except for the I because, actually I read this really good book when I was in the 6th grade called I Am Third by Gale Sayers. He was a running back for the Chicago Bears. And he says God is family. God is first, his family is second, and he's third. And I always liked that. I always thought so. I figured, when I seen the lowercase I on the iPhone, I didn't like that because I thought, well, why would I be a non-subject when it pertains to a consumer product?
Right.
I should definitely be the subject in that,
Yeah.
It's a piece of plastic. I'm way more vibrant than that. How is that taking precedence over, I should be the subject of that expression.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
Yeah.
But when it came to my name and understanding what my name means, I said, well, as far as me having the name, I'm not the subject in that discourse. This is about something bigger than me, but I'm still going to spell it in caps and then the lowercase I so that you know who I am.
No doubt.
So that you feel me as well,
Yeah.
And it's also a nice way to distinguish. There's also I think a Swedish folk band called HaniF.
Oh.
So, I don't know. I'll deal with that when I get paid. So
HaniF's up in here, man. Hey, yo, so one of the things that I've always thought was interesting is you have first of all, people definitely go check out your music. I mean, like you said, you have a bunch of projects out there. Curse of the Pharaoh, beautiful music.
I think Curse of the Pharaoh was weak.
Really?
I don't like it.
Really?
Yeah, it was weak. That wasn't it, man. That wasn't what people was waiting
You
for.
got some joints on there, though.
There's some joints on there, but it's a project. It was bad.
Okay, so
It's bad.
So don't look for that one first. First one you should go look for is probably beautiful music. That's
Okay.
One of my favorite
Okay.
projects. But you've always, and I shouldn't say you have. I've always considered you to be a very more than just a talented artist, but like a really good artist.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
Really
Thanks
good
so much,
artist.
bro.
And you have everything together. You got your stage show together, this, that, and the other. That being said, your content has always been, in my opinion, consistently. I'm gonna use the word conscious, also, although that almost sounds cliche-ish nowadays. You know what I'm saying. So how have you managed to marry those two things to be in an age where that's really not the thing to do if you're trying to get on.
There's plenty of rappers that, talk about relevant things. If that's what you mean by conscious, that say stuff that's smart. There's for every 2 Chainz, there's an Immortal Technique. And for every, Rick Ross, there's a Lupe Fiasco. There's 2 Rick Rosses for every Lupe, but there's plenty of guys doing that time. But I mean, the thing about what I'm doing is a little different because, I'm also not calling myself a nigger.
Right.
I'm also not, cursing a whole bunch. And so I think that, my content is actually pretty unique, which I think is a really amazing thing in hip-hop music to have any type of unique anything.
Right.
People just borrow people's styles now, whole styles. I'm just going to sound like, Capadonna.
Well, but that's what you do if you're trying to get on, right? That's what's working. That's the formula that's working. Let me just do that. And that's the point to make.
Yeah, and there's a fine line between that, influence and biting, But when I was growing up, it was very clear. When I heard you or saw your video or thought about you, the first thought that came to my mind was someone else, then you're a biter, It's not your style, give it back,
Right.
You can't be running around here masquerading with somebody else's style. What kind of madness is that, But now it's more accepted. So, I think that for me though, like having a message, it's just my music is an extension of who I am. So it's not about anything other than expressing, how I feel, what I think, what I'm dealing with, what I'm questioning, what I'm answering, and so that's just who I am. It's not like I'm a conscious rapper. I don't like that, because I know a bunch of conscious rappers and you meet them in real life and they're just complete idiots.
Yeah.
It's easy to sound smart on a rap record because the precedent is so low.
Right.
You
That's
got
deep.
these, facts though,
Yeah.
So I think that I'm just a person who just tries to, I'm a thinker. I like to think. I like to, study, and I enjoy having conversations about things that matter, and I don't watch television and, this type of thing. So, I think that, whether or not I'm labeled a conscious rapper is really immaterial in the grand scheme of, like, when you think about at the end of time, when they look back on, like, artists, like these little divisions we have now, might not even, they've called, probably Tupac a conscious rapper before he put out Machiavelli, and then we forgot all about that.
Right.
And then he started shooting and beating stuff up, and all of a sudden, all that other stuff got erased.
Right.
All this albums,
Right.
albums, whole tapes have just dedicated to just positivity, and all that got erased when he put out Machiavelli. So, I look at it like, man, all I can offer the world is just like a unique expression, and hopefully it resonates. You know what I mean? So whether or not it's considered conscious, that's people now that are writing blogs on ear milk and they think that they're, but 100 years nobody's even gonna know who you are. I'm the artist. I'm the artist, man.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Talking to HaniF. And that's one of the interesting things, though, that it holds so true, because if anyone does connect with you via social media, what you just said is what you see on social media. I mean, you do bring up interesting conversations.
Who, me?
Yes.
But see, you're friends with my Facebook. That's personal. See, that's it's way different than my music stuff is different. The real HaniF is another thing. We can't just let the public have access to that. It might not be. It's a little G-rated, So
it's just
the real HaniF. Yeah, that's a little different.
But again, seeing that conversations that we've had, I do see that come through.
From now and again, I might make a Twitter post about something that's going on with somebody. I try to keep the stuff that I'm doing, as far as I try to keep my opinions about a lot of stuff down on the music networks. Even the Instagram, I won't do so much. But like for my personal friends, yeah, and in person, in my music as well. But I found that tweeting about something like, for instance, the genocide in Palestine or something that's been going on for a long time. It's the conflict that goes back to the time of the Bible. 140 characters just doesn't do it. So if you want to have a conversation that means something, you have to, either take yourself physically to places where those conversations are being had, or create a space somewhere where those conversations can be had, because Twitter is not necessarily the medium, to be discussing like, political theory. 140 characters or less. So, you just talk about what you ate for breakfast. And what you saw on the train today, just keep it like that. It's cool.
Up in here with HaniF. All right, so you're in New York. You did the Weekly Wonders, which was, I would imagine, introduced you to more folk, people who maybe weren't familiar with who you are.
It was crazy. I was in I was in New York at the house of my roommate. I had a partner of his come through as a producer, and he's like, he goes, how you doing? I'm HaniF. He's like, oh, you rap too? I said, yeah, I go by Luck One. He's like, oh, man, you been on Two Dope Boys, man. I seen you, man. That's crazy. I actually met you. My roommate was like, you weak. He's like, you weak, man.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So is that just surreal, like to have that experience where you can be HaniF, but as soon as you're Luck One, then it's a whole different vibe?
I think, I don't know. It's not surreal. I just look at it like cutting hair, man, right? By trade, I'm a barber. That's what I went to school for. That's what I do, as a square gig, I guess.
Yeah.
People whose hair I cut know me.
Right.
It's not because I'm special. It's not a big deal. Right. I cut a lot of people's hair. I cut over 1,000 people's hair every 90 days. Yeah. Cut a lot of hair. So if I cut your hair and you see me, oh, HaniF, what's up, bro? Hey, what's up, bro?
Right.
Cool. Same thing if you listen to my music.
Right.
Okay, you know me because I make music and you might have downloaded the tape. Yeah. Oh, hey, what's up? Cool.
Right.
It's not a big deal. It's nothing to act, weirded out by or feel, just validated by, because, both the hate and the praise, you have to ignore both of those. People say, you're the greatest rapper ever. You have to ignore that. And oh man, you're too conscious. You have to ignore that, because you're supposed to be making a unique expression. So either it's going to connect with the people or it's not. It's not about making something that connects with the people. It's about, are you a person who, as a rapper especially, that's why it's keep it real.
Right.
We want to know who you are. We want to know what we're listening to, consuming, and supporting. Someone who can, and that's what makes a rapper, at least in the era I came from, dope, was that they were a type of person who was interesting, and so they would say interesting things. Simple as that. It didn't matter if you had a stylist. If you didn't have an interesting style, then that was just make you less interesting and less likely to be somebody we would listen to.
Right.
Be like Nas, because he would talk about interesting things in his raps. He had an interesting perspective. He was talking about things other people weren't talking about in a way they weren't doing it. So it was unique and it was fresh and it was interesting. And he had his little swag, he's like got the tight fade and he's all on the Guess, but that's his thing, Had his whole little style. It was dope and it's all him. And now it's, there's a lot more, capital invested in the music. So people are, promoted for different reasons in different ways to different markets through different mediums. And a lot more comes into play than just like, the content of your rhymes and what stands behind it. Yeah.
That's what's up, man. Up in here with HaniF. So, I had an opportunity, probably about 45 minutes ago, to hear some new material.
Boom.
And I made a comment that you released a song. I don't remember how long ago it was now, but you released a song a while ago. A pretty amazing song. The video was really, really dope. That really got a lot of people talking. A song called Farewell. And in the song,
right.
I remember when you dropped the song, and then after you dropped Farewell, I don't remember which project you dropped after Farewell.
I dropped King of the No.
Anyway,
Critical Mass.
Critical Mass. And then
Beautiful Music 2. No, Critical Mass. No, yeah, Beautiful Music 2, and then I Diss Chill, and then Critical Mass.
Right. and people were like, "Yo, I thought you was gone. I thought you in Farewell."
Say.
You broke it down. You let people know.
You actually listened to. You're one of the few people. I salute you, man. People always ask me this question, and I say, if you listen to the song, I said, "Adios, y'all. BM2, Critical Mass, plus the project I did with Fifth, and I'm Ghost, y'all." That's what I said in the record.
So, on the way over here, about 45 minutes ago, I actually got to hear selections.
See, I actually played that for you because, I knew that you would grasp the significance. I'm glad that I did. Thank you, man. Thank you. Somebody actually heard the lyrics in the song. Thank you, man.
So the project has been talked about.
What?
The project is about to drop.
It's about to drop, man. It's about to come out. Probably about. You know what? I'm gonna just tell you, November 24th.
Oh.
Probably come out November 24th. So we're about to drop right around there, 24th, 25th, 26th. Just trying to figure that out and finalize the artwork, but yep, it's coming out, putting it out. New music.
I'm telling y'all, this project is dope. Fifth Sequence is, I think, one of the he's such a reserved cat, amazing producer.
Truly.
Just found out that he's kind of nice on the cuts, and
he raps.
And that's right.
And he raps.
Right. He's done some stuff with
Fifth. Diesel.
He's done some stuff with Diesel or
Randall.
Or Randall Wyatt. He's done some
That's
stuff.
Diesel. I don't care.
Exactly.
I saw him last night. I'm like, Diesel the physicist. I don't care. You're Diesel.
And this project sounds having your style over that production, that East Coast style production. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And
thank you.
Anyway, it's gonna be dope. I can't wait to hear it. We're gonna be blowing it up over here. So
yeah, man. Yeah, I'm really excited to put it out, man. I've been working on it for a long time. He's been mixing it since Jesus was in swaddling clothes. It's finally done, man. It's ready to go. I feel really good about it.
That's what's up.
I feel really good about it.
That's what's up. So that's just gonna be a little taste, right? That's just gonna be a little something that you're gonna put out there.
Just a little taste, because I want to introduce myself to what I want to do, man, with this new project is introduce myself to a new audience of listeners. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. I feel like it's time for me to jump past the blog circuit and the local show circuit and start hitting like the print magazine circuit, and things like that. And so, again, a new approach. If you have a new goal, it's a new approach, and just breaking that cycle of like kind of releasing music to the same close, small circle of humans, trying to just reach something larger, because I feel like I've had the attention of some of the same groups of people for a while, and it's reached a point where it hasn't really plateaued. So I have to find new mediums to convey the music to the people. So, I'm excited to have the music be presented, first of all, to have the music to present, first of all, and for it to be presented and to see how it's received in new circles, hopefully, God willing, and to see how it's received in circles of people that are familiar with the context of everything else I've been putting out, and then see, like, what we can do with that, what that's going to turn into, and how that's going to influence, the rest of my career as far as the next project I put out. Whether that be an album of a project or a video of a project or, hint.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and that's one of the things that I think that's also pretty dope is the material that you put out visually has gotten a lot of love. People have appreciated not just local people, but people have looked at what you've done visually and have been has just shown a lot of love for that. So I would expect nothing less for upcoming projects.
Yeah, man. Well, I give all the glory to God, man. You just have to always remember that, nothing is guaranteed, man. I've been, I think in Portland, man, I probably had the town's attention as a rapper for about 4 summers that I was just doing what I wanted. You know what I mean? And I think that's a long time to be a rapper kind of at the top of the food chain in this local circuit, And in that time, I've witnessed a lot of rappers pop up, fizzle, and burn out.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of rappers, find ways to sustain themselves. And the whole gamut of spectrum of just, what happens to people that do music in this town. And I don't know, man. I think that I feel like just like in a unique place now. And I feel like when I left Portland, a lot of the concern from my people were like, well, you have all this going on. You have like all these papers will write about you. You can rock these shows. You can open up here. You can get on the road there. You kind of building a network. You're going to walk away from that. You're going to move to New York. You're going to start over. You're just walking. But I'm like, man, there's so much more to be done.
Yeah.
You don't want to get stuck in a cycle of complacence. Right. Willamette Week, Portland Mercury, Portland Tribune, Oregonian, Two Dope Boys, Smoking Section, Nah Right, Ill Roots, whatever. Okay Player, you get your blog love. DX, okay, you drop your video, you get your 25,000 hits, you get t-shirts. Okay, back to square one. Why? Why? When I could be crowd surfing in stadiums. That's what I always imagined when I started rapping, and I'm not giving up my vision, Yeah. Why should I? I'm going after that exact feeling and thought that I had when I thought, okay, maybe I can be a rapper. What would that look like? I still want that exact idea.
So, but that's such a. I mean, you can apply that to life. In any aspect of life. I mean, we're talking about the music industry, but in life, where people get stuck in, this works for me. This is very comfortable for me. This is not necessarily what I always dreamed of or aspired to do, but I'm very comfortable where I am, and I'm almost afraid to. And is it that? Is it fear to leave what I feel is secure when we all know that nothing is truly secure? To really push for my goals.
Ultimately, I think that all you can do is just make a choice and go after it. That's it, man. You never know what's going to make you happy, but I know that staying in one place doesn't do it for me. Yeah. Doesn't matter what that place is, man. I want to see what else is going on until I've seen it all. Yeah. If I can never do that, and who knows? They say you're always growing, you're never grown. So I really don't know, man. I think that in life in general as well it applies, but, in music especially, it's just... And I've seen it, and I've witnessed the rappers that fall for it. This Portland is their thing, They don't get on a list, or they don't get on then they're all upset because they feel like, they're entitled to something. Yeah. All the while, if you're entitled to it, then you would have the title to it. But you don't, so you're not. So what are you mad at anybody else for, And man, thing is, I've been on all those lists. I've been... writers will say all kinds of stuff about your music, man. Yo, this kid's the next Nas. He's greater than Tupac. You can't believe that. You just got to make music. Keep making music. And so, leaving Portland, I wasn't sure when I left, honestly. coming back to Portland, looking at it from a distance on the internet, talking to my people, I'm like, man, now I see clearly the mentality in our scene that just really is like, it's good because it breeds some really nice rappers. Some really accurate rappers come from here because of the competition, but it also, I don't think, because no one has really succeeded, it can be a little bit noxious at times, you know, kind of like just a bad energy sometimes. Sometimes, not always, but it can be that, you know. I don't know if that answers your question at all. I'm rambling.
No. I mean, I think that it does, because I do want to get the perspective of someone who has been here and who has seen things.
Man, I've rocked all those shows. I've sold out the merch. I've had everybody promise me everything. All those rappers have hit me up for features. All those guys have sent me beats or asked to shoot my videos. And I feel like I've mined it dry. And so that's why, like, you know, when I saw Vinny Dwayne, you know, and Trey Rideau and those guys start to, like, really make a little bit of a wave, I intentionally felt like, because when I was, you know, in that position where I was just starting to, like, rock the bigger venues and get love from the press and locally, that it was kind of a mystery as to how to go to the next step. I didn't feel like the older heads necessarily did as much as they should have. You know, though they did, you know, their part, I felt like they didn't do as much as they should have to, like, put on. Yeah. You know, and to, like, really to be like, yo, oh, you got next. Well, let me show you how I did it, and you can add your spin to it and make it blow. And, you know, so I made it a point to, like, try to kind of ease out of, like, opening up for people, you know. Kind of trying to ease out of that because I've done that. And I noticed from when I came up how the way that was handled, as far as, like, the competition on a local level between a dude who's just out here with his music and a passion and, like, really working hard, and the dudes that have been all over the place and have been rapping forever but are still competing for the same shows, that it set the tone for a relationship that wasn't towards real camaraderie, you know. I have a lot of respect for the older heads in Portland, and you know, I'm certainly not speaking about every older head, but that was just the feel that I got, and a lot of people from my generation. There's different generations of Portland rappers now, right. You know. TJ Chill is not the same generation as Mike Bogan, right. You know what I'm saying, or John Bells. Right. It's not the same generation as Luck One or Randall Wyatt. Right. Totally different generations. So, you know, I think that I made it a point to try to, like, be as cool as I could about, like, supporting ones, just really supporting the rappers, the younger rappers I thought were dope. That was my only criteria, man. If you're a dickhead in real life, excuse my language, if you're a jerk in real life, and, you know, I don't like you and your breath stinks and your girlfriend treats you like trash, but your music is dope, yeah, I'm just going to go with that. Right. It's just as simple as that. You know, no friendly, no homie, buddy, just if whoever's music I thought was dope, I tried to not only, like, tell them I think you're dope, you've got talent, man, nobody should ever tell you anything different than that, but also to, like, just be supportive and, like, anything they needed, any contacts, anything I could do, even though I can't do as much as people think. Yeah. People think that I'm on, you know, which is funny to me, and just support, you know, and I think that there's only a couple people in the town that really have this type of mentality, and that's one of the big reasons why, like, being in New York is good, to be able to look back and see, like, wow, you know, I miss Portland so much, and I feel like I missed out on so much moving from Portland because I love this city, but then I've also dodged a lot of bullets. Also, I just kind of exiting out instead of being, because I saw people start to make, like, subbing me in their tracks, and I was like, I'm not even interested in that, man. Like, I want you guys to all win. Truly, I'm not into it so much, you know, because I'm a really nice guy, but I'm also from the streets, you know, like, and I don't want to have any type of miscommunication with you, man, on a rap record about that. Would, God forbid, man. Right. You know.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
And here with HaniF, so one of the other things that, you know, you're true to your word. I see you when I see you on social media, when I hear stuff that you're doing on record in New York. You still rep for Portland. You still rep for the Northwest, which I think is pretty dope.
I do, and I also rep for Uptown because I was born Uptown, so I'm partial to Uptown, and I will rep for Uptown. Okay. Just because I live there. Yeah. Like, if I move from Uptown, there will probably be no more repping for Uptown. That's probably over with when I move. But I will always rep Portland no matter where I go.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But and I really like Harlem. It's nice, man. It reminds me of how I grew up in Portland. But yeah, man, always rep Portland, man. That's where I'm from. That doesn't change, man. People have got to understand, man. You know, it's good to be from Oregon.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a good thing. Oregon is a good place. You know, it's not a bad place.
No
It's
doubt.
definitely nothing to be ashamed of.
So you're here in Portland, getting ready to head back to New York. We know that the EP that you did with Fifth is going to drop November the 24th.
Right around there, the 24th to the 26th. We're just trying to pick an exact day. We're narrowing down now, so yeah.
Late
But you'll know soon because
November.
when I drop the video, I'll be announcing the EP and everything.
All right, the video's going to drop. Be sure to look for the visuals. The real HaniF, all over the internets.
Yeah.
Instagram, Twitter,
Facebook, yeah,
Tumblr.
Tumblr.
Okay. And then there is. Well, I guess I should say there is. Is there a possibility to see you perform live here in Portland? Is that on the? I mean, you get ready to drop a project.
You
with
want to
Fifth
know
Sequence,
something
who
interesting?
actually lives in Portland.
You want to know something interesting? I actually turned down that Mos Def show. That's crazy.
That is interesting.
That's crazy, right?
Yes, yes. It
And
is.
that's what I'm trying to tell you is that I actually turned down a show with Mos Def, and you know. But you know, man, it really feels good to be at a point where I can turn down a show with Mos Def.
Okay.
That would have been a huge deal for me 5 years ago.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But now, at this point, I mean, what am I going to get from performing in front of a packed out crowd at the Rosen Theater in Portland, Oregon? I've done that how many times?
Okay.
You know, I've killed that.
Right.
I've really crushed that to the ground. on more than one occasion, like serious business. Like the security guards remember me every time I go there. Like even if I'm just going to see a show, they're like, "Hey, what's up, Lock?"
Yeah.
So like you know, if the security guard buys a CD, you killed it.
Yeah.
You know, he's heard everything.
Right,
He sits there and listens to it all. He's not impressed.
Yeah.
What they say called nonplussed. It's nonplussed by your musical talents.
Wow.
But you know, so I mean, that's. Yeah, I actually turned that show down, man. But I was thinking about it. I definitely considered it. I thought, man, that would be nice to come back and do it. But, you know, man, I've done that, man.
Okay.
There's more out there. You start doing that, and then, you know, you might as well be doing open mics. You know, I mean, you're just going to perform anywhere, man. They're not going to pay me any real money to open up for Mos Def, man. Even though my last three shows here sold out. They're not going to pay me anything that, you know, a couple $100. A little coach ticket, maybe.
Well,
Economy
know-
plus.
I know you said when you were here the last time we had a chance to chop it up, I said to people then, see luck when you can, because there's going to come a time pretty soon where you may not have that opportunity.
God willing, man. God willing, man. Definitely God willing, man. I hope so.
That's what's up, man. HaniF, formerly known as Luck One, my brother.
Luck
I
Wonder.
cannot tell you how much I appreciate you taking time. I know that you were in and out, so I appreciate you taking time to drop through, man.
Man, always, fam. You're on the short list of humans I sincerely rock with in the music business.
That's what's up. I appreciate it, man.
Sure.
Go check them out, man.
That's my word. You'll always be able to get an interview with me, no matter whatever happens in life. I will never ever deny that from you,
That's
ever.
what's up, man. Look, I am honored and privileged, brother, to be able to reach out and have you respond like that.
I appreciate it, fam. You gave me a ride too. That's chill. That's chilly.
Check out the real HaniF, man, all over the internets. Be on the look for the new. Oh, yo, what's the name of let me know the name of the EP? The fifth.
12-inch vinyls coming in November.
12-inch vinyls. Be on the look for that, man. Be on the look for the new video. Once again, I would not steer you wrong. I will tell you that the project is ridiculous, and yeah, man, we're gonna blow this thing up and watch this man shine and rep for the city and just for humanity. So, once again, man, stay tuned to DJ Cliff Presents. Be on the look for more guest interviews. Check out the radio show Welcome to the Neighborhood. Yeah, man, just reach out.
Peace.
Peace out.